Okay, so if you look at the question number 1 for self practice 9.3, for each of the following triangles, determine whether ambiguous case exists. So what is ambiguous case? It's more difficult to explain than to do. Okay, I'll show you whether there is ambiguous case or not. So what we do, we are going to really to draw, okay, according to some measurement, but it's just the angle is we could not exactly according to the given angle, the exact one. Okay, so so for the first one, we have BC is 14, so we draw 14. Okay, this one, because it's bigger, I draw 14 inch. 14. This is the line 14. This is 14 inch actually. Okay, so from here, this is B, this is C, and the measurement is 14. But I do not label as centimeter because it's actually inch. Okay, 14.5. So then we have to draw angle of B, which is 62.5. I do not know what is the 62.5 exactly, because I'm not using protractor, but this is 90, so I estimate like that is about 60 degrees. So I draw like that, and then this is, I label 62.5 degrees. And then you have to draw AC, which is 10, from C to A, either A to C or C to A. It has to be 10. So 10 inch will be something like this, 39. Okay, I have here 39 from 29. Okay, so the two, okay, this is could be okay. So one of them will be here, another would be on that side. So this is what we call ambiguous. Ambiguous, why is it is called ambiguous? Because that A could be here or could be there, as long as the length is 10 centimeter. Okay, both of the length is 10 centimeter. Okay, so and if let's say we do not draw or we just sketch, how do we know it exists or not? Okay, after you have drawn, this is for understanding. So how do we know it exists or does not exist? Look at the angle, and this is the front of the angle. And the front of the angle is set as 10. So this one is shorter than the one given on the beside of the angle. So if this length is shorter than this, then ambiguous case exists. Okay? If the length opposite the angle is shorter than the length of the other side, ambiguous case occurs. Is there any word you don't understand? Okay, that one you do it later. Listen to my explanation for B. So now, let's try to draw again. We have to draw 8.2 something like that. It should be straight. 8.2 is Q to R. And the angle at R is 28. 90 is like that. So I divide this by 3. Then this is the length. And then we have PQ, which is 11.4. This one is 8.2. So where is P? It has to be from Q is 11.4. So this is 8.2. It could not be somewhere here because it has to be 11. Okay, so 11.2, I just turn it. This side is very short, 4 centimeter only. So in order to make it into 11, I have to draw it somewhere around here. Okay, so I make it longer, then it intersect here. So P will be there. So P will not be able to be around here. Okay, so from here, you should understand that there is no ambiguous case. So what is ambiguous case? When we have two sides. Let's say the front of this one, it has CA 10, could be this one or could be that one, inside or outside. So this should be 28 degrees. And this is 11.4. Okay, so P could not be in two places, only one place. Okay, so there is no ambiguous case. And according to the formula here, you look at the one that in front of this is longer than this side. Okay, because the ambiguous case will occur if the line of opposite of the angle is shorter, but this one is longer. So if the front, the opposite the angle is longer than this side, then ambiguous case does not occur. Okay? Right. So let's continue with question number 2. So for question number 2, the diagram on the right shows an incomplete triangle PQR. PQ is 15.5 and QPR is 35 degrees. Okay, so I need to find a ruang. Okay. But then you draw saja. PQR, PQ is 15.5. And okay, so we are not going to draw, but we are going to sketch and go according to the formula given here. Okay, find the opposite values of QRP. So we have PQ, P to Q is 15.5 centimeter, and then this is 35 degrees. And QR is, okay, so QR is only 10.5. So the one in front of the angle is shorter on the than the side. So the QR could be here, R could be there, and could be the other side like that. Okay, R2, R1 and R2. Okay, so in order to really understand this, you should draw, while not in the exam, because during exam you don't have the time to draw. Okay, so this one, if you draw, you will see clearly. So this is 10.5. So both of this. So this is coming inside, this is to outside, because there is no measurement given for PR. If there is measurement for PR, then that is another thing. Okay, so in front of the angle is shorter than its side on the other side. So the ambiguous case will take place. Okay. So A, find the possible values of QRP. So QRP. So how to find QRP? So we could QRP here or QRP there. Okay. So for question number 2A, how to use this? Use formula, Sine formula. We say sine. Okay, and then you have to understand, if you use measurement, you use protractor, R2 and R1, they are not the same, but the total for R2 and R1 will be 180. How do we know that? If you draw, and then you take protractor, and then measure, and then you add the two. The two angle will be total 180. So what you have to understand about the angle again is that you are going to get an angle that is less than 90. That is what we call acute angle. Okay, the theta will be acute angle. So the acute angle is the one outside. So because this is more than 90, the relationship will be the, so one, if you get the theta out on the R2, you could find this by using 180 minus theta. You get the theta 2 or the value of x, whichever that you want to label. Okay, because there is no labeling for the question here. So how to find the angle? We say sine theta over 15.5, okay, not the 10.5, is equals to 35 with 10.5. Sine 35 over 10.5. So you just move that this one with 15. So tan theta will be sine 35 times 15.5 divided by 10.5. So whatever that you get, sine 35 times 15.5 and divided by 10.5, you get something. That something you should not write it down. Okay, just put it and then immediately shift sign, then you get the value that is correct to 2 decimal. It will be 87.86 degrees. If they ask you to give in degrees and minute, you could just press degree underneath of the square root. Okay, it would be 57 degrees 51 minutes. And the value of the other angle will be, or the x here will be 180 minus 57.86. I prefer to use decimal. Okay, so 180 minus 57.86, which is 122.14 degrees. And so, in order to answer the question, find the possible values of QRP. Angle QRP will be both 57.86 and 122.14. And hence, find the possible length of PR. Possible length of PR, there are two PR. P to R1 and P to R2. And there are many ways how to answer that. Let's say we are talking about P to R2. So number 2B, we could use, okay, P to R2. P to R2 over the angle here. So since we know that the angle here is 57.86, then we could know the total angle at Q, which is 180 minus 35 minus 57.86. That is 87.14. So I should label here 87.14. So PR22 over sine 87.14 is equals to the length, that is 15.5 over sine 57.86, or you could also use 10.5 and 35 degrees. So you just move it to the other side. This is not PR squared, PR2 actually. 2 is underneath here. So P to R2 will be, you move this to the other side, and then, okay, I'm not going to write it down because there's no extra mark for that. So 15.5 times sine 87.14 and then divided by sine 57.86. So you get 18.28. 18.28 centimeter. And then in order to know the length of P to R1, so the angle here, but you have to use the angle, the actual angle, which is 122.14. Okay, and then now P to R is in front of the angle, the small angle here. Okay, so P to R1 over, okay, since I do not know yet, I have to calculate the Q, PQR, which is 180 minus 35 and minus the angle at X here. X is 122.14, which is 22.86. So angle at Q will be 22.86. There is sine here, is equals to which length that we can have? This length. Okay, and then we have the length here over 35. Okay, or you could use 15.5 over the value of X. 15.5 over sine 122.14. So P to R1 is equals to 15.5 times this divided by this. Okay, 15.5 times sine 22.86. Then you divide by sine 122.14. So we have the length is 7.11 centimeter. Okay, so is there anything that you want to ask? Alright, so you should begin trying out. Take note of question number 1, and after that you try to do question number 2.